Sentiment at the Denver Gold Forum was mixed, with more CEOs and analysts bullish than bearish on gold. Let's start with Frank Holmes' views today, who joins me now. Frank, good to see you again.
It's great to be with you.
Well, offline I was telling you the sentiment at the Denver Gold Forum. I can't really figure it out. Still trying to figure it out here. Are you more bullish or bearish right now?
Well, we had some of our team there. We had 4 people that were there and giving us feedback. I think the real shocker was Vanguard. They had $2.5 billion, and they blew out $2 billion worth of gold stocks. And that really is depressing for, if I'm going to talk about my company and what's good about it, and all of a sudden my stock's being knocked down every day, it was psychologically difficult. On the other hand, the Barrick merger with Randgold is usually these things happen at the bottom of the cycle, not the top. And I think that that's really interesting because they start to drive for economies of scale to get growth, cost savings for growth. And so I think that that's very positive and constructive. And Mark Bristow, I love. We were the seed shareholders almost 27 years ago when that vision was first started. So we believed in him from day one, just like Pierre Lassonde and creating Franco-Nevada.
Well, definitely it was probably the biggest news to come out of the show was the Randgold and Barrick merger. And there's so much M&A activity happening in the sector now. And as you say, it's a positive. People are talking about gold stocks and gold again, right, Frank?
They are, and they're talking about peak gold. We had peak oil until the frackers came along and just disrupted all of that with new technology and enhancement of fields. But there's nothing like that happening in the space of gold. So we are going to start seeing supply shrinking.
Right. But, and on that note, some mining CEOs I spoke to said it's becoming difficult now for miners to continue operating at these current gold prices. Is this something that really worries you here?
Well, just make sure you don't own them. I think Eric Sprott's done a great job in building his company. He only wants high-grade projects. And that's how you have to mitigate the volatility. Do you have cheap energy? And the only way opposite of that is, do you have really high grade?
All right. Finally, Frank, let's wrap. What are you watching in the news right now that could really impact the gold market?
Well, Turkey has to sell their gold, and guess what? Who steps into the arena is Poland. Poland, that's huge, right. 6 billion tons, and then we turn around and have other shifts taking place in the marketplace. India, the rupee is making new lows against the dollar, and gold is surging in demand. Perth launches a digital gold product, and it's off the shelf. So there are really positive things happening in light of this strong dollar. And historically, when you've had this spread of the yen paying you 10 beeps and you're getting 300 basis points for over 300%, 300 basis points in the U.S. for 10-year money, you would have a big differential. Gold would be actually much lower. The dollar would be much higher. It's not happening. And what I found out yesterday is that being able to borrow, carry, trade cheap in Japan, say to buy gold or buy U.S. government bonds, it's all hedged out on the foreign currency markets. So that's why the dollar isn't ripping on a relative basis to previous cycles.
We're definitely not seeing the usual suspects buying gold. Definitely something to keep watching. Frank Holmes, thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow.